So I'm here with Magnus Carlsen, who's just finished day 2 here at Weissenhaus. Magnus, it's been a pretty intense couple of days. What are your first impressions?
Yeah, of course. It's been tough. It's really difficult to play this format. I feel like I was in time trouble in a lot of games, and I was rarely in control at all. But it's of course it's nice to win a couple of games. I didn't feel like I played particularly better today than I did yesterday. I felt yesterday, as we see the beautiful position on the board.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, that's all right. Sindarov outplayed me. Fabi outplayed me, but mainly it was just one moment where he had seen obviously a lot deeper than I had. The thing my blunder against Fedoseev was inexcusable, but apart from that, I didn't feel that I was feeling all right, and I didn't feel like I played particularly badly. Of course, today there was one game where I was completely outplayed against Alireza, but the other ones, I think I played all right.
Yeah, and does it ever creep in, kind of that doubt after starting kind of not at your usual level? Yesterday, I mean, you did start with a win against Hikaru, but after that it was a bit shaky, and you were, I guess, just above the danger zone heading into today's play. Did that ever cross your mind that things might get a bit hairy there?
No, of course I was hoping to be further ahead, but the thing about freestyle is you cannot really game plan for these things because it's too hard simply.
You literally have to freestyle.
So you really just have to go out there and try and win. So I wasn't thrilled obviously, but I wasn't really worried per se that I was gonna get in trouble. Honestly, nothing really happened. The two guys who were in last place before today, they were eliminated. I was in 4th. I guess Hikaru was in 5th or 6th. We're still there. Top 3 guys are still the same. So the scores got a lot tighter, but the placings really didn't.
And I mean, you mentioned the 2 players who were eliminated, Levon Aroni and Vladimir Fedoseev. Are you surprised by that at all? 2 players who I would say, pretty suited for this format.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that Fedoseev didn't do better. Obviously, Levon had some very inspired moments last year as well. He would certainly have hoped to do better, but it seemed that he was just not on his game at all, and that's unfortunate for him, of course, but yeah, for him it was just never close.
And I have to ask about the game with Gukesh. We were following it a lot. I think the whole chess world probably following it. First game against him since he'd become world champion. Did you approach it differently? How do you feel it went? Were you surprised at all?
Yeah, I was. I think the game was very decent for a long time. I was very happy to get in this counter strike in the center with e4 e5. I thought like my queen is controlling the diagonal. I always have these tricks with going rook e8 and then long castling, and it felt like his position was a bit shaky. Then I'd seen that he could play d4, but I was like, 1, hoping maybe he wouldn't play it, 2, hoping that I would find something, and I checked it briefly afterwards. Actually, there is something with queen e8 and knight b5. I mean, that's really difficult to find. So after that, I was a bit disappointed because then the position was just equal, and yeah, honestly, after that, I think it was just lack of experience on his part, because he just took too many chances, and then when it was time to be a little bit he was really brave, and then when it was time to be brave again, he retreated. But by the time he retreated, it was very difficult to hold this position in practice. And at that point, I thought my winning chances were great.
Yeah, I mean, some of your recaps on Take during the World Championship match, you mentioned like his clock handling. I mean, he went into an endgame when it didn't seem necessary. Those things, is that what you mean when it comes to inexperience?
No. I think the endgame itself was completely fine. Of course, I have this protected pass once, but his pieces are so well placed that he should never really get in trouble. I think it was later, like he could have, for instance, exchanged rooks at some point, which is just a dead draw, at a couple of points, and. It's a thing we talked about earlier as well, is that he wasn't really playing by hand. He was trying to, do a little bit too much.
He wanted to beat you, Magnus. He wanted to play.
No, I don't know. I think, honestly, there was not a single point in the game where it was realistic that he could play for a win. That hasn't stopped him from playing for a win in the past, but... I think the practical chances were always with me, especially with the time. And what generally happens there is that when things start going downhill, they just collapse, because as soon as I get my pieces going, this pawn, if not located, is just unstoppable.
Yeah, it was a great game. Go check it out on the Take app. And Magnus, just before I let you go, quarterfinals you mentioned. I'm not sure the pairings have been done yet.
Well, I mean, there's unless something crazy happens, the 4-5, myself and Hikaru are actually going to be the 4-5. I cannot imagine. I think the other choices are Abdusatorov, Gukesh, and Keimer. Like, I could see somebody choosing. I could see like one of them choosing. Yeah, I mean,
you get last pick, right?
No. So the thing is, like, I think that Keimer probably and Gukesh are going to be picked first, and then Abdusatorov or Hikaru. Like, as I think about it, it's not as much of a given fact, but I would not bet any money on me playing somebody else than Hikaru in the semifinals. Quarterfinals.
Unless it's a daredevil, yeah. Not kind of picking Hikaru. It does feel counterintuitive. And what are your thoughts, assuming it is Hikaru, ahead of the classical portion of the event?
I think he picked up his game quite a bit today. Yesterday, I think he was quite poor, and he was probably lucky not to be even worse off in the standing. Of course, there were some chances missed as well, as there usually are, but it was quite shaky. Today, it looked quite a bit better, and I was not surprised to see him climb up the standings. And eventually he reached +2, which I did as well. Which is not a bad score, but there just happened to be three guys who scored a lot of points very early and who were just cruising. So, he is very, very strong, and a very tough opponent. I think I'm going to be in probably the tougher end of the bracket as well, but I managed to do it last year, so why not this year as well?
Are you looking forward to having more time on the clock, first of all?
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to having time on the clock. I love delving deeply into the positions from the start, but when you're playing this fast rapid, at some point you just have to start blitzing, and then it's difficult. But classical time control is going to be awesome.
Magnus, it's been a long couple of days for you. Congratulations on getting to the quarterfinals, and best of luck for the rest of the event.
Thank you.